I would like to ask a question. Good morning, Sifu. Good morning, everyone. Is one were to develop dispassion and revulsion towards samsara, can one still do things that one enjoys? Example, leisure activities. Can one still enjoy it? So the word can has a few meanings. Yeah. Can mean that the person means you are allowed. Can also means you're able to. So are you allowed to enjoy? Not so much whether you're allowed to, yeah, but whether you will find it enjoyable. Let me ask you all a question. Your answer as you deem fit. Again, think of your favorite toy when you were young. If I were to ask you to go and spend time playing with your favorite toy or favorite game, activities, yeah, 5 stone, 0 points to play now, would you still enjoy it? Maybe some of you may still enjoy it. Yeah, maybe you may still enjoy your favorite toy, favorite game, favorite activity when you were young. Yeah. And here we are not even talking about whether you have developed dispassion yet. Yeah. Would you say that you are enjoying it to the same level as when you were a kid? Probably not. But you would still remember how you enjoy it. Difference being that we have sort of outgrown it. Yeah. We no longer see it in the same way. Right? So now that we don't see it the same way, we don't enjoy it to the same degree. Do you feel like you are losing anything? You do, right? But now if you ask a kid, you ask a teenager to imagine one day where they have dispassion and revulsion towards whatever they are enjoying now. And then you ask them, do you think you will still enjoy it? Or if you don't enjoy it anymore, how do you feel? You'll feel a sense of loss. They'll feel like, yeah, then why do I want to have dispassion and revulsion? They will not be able to understand. They'll feel like they are losing something. But do you feel like you are losing something with respect to your favorite toy or your favorite game or activities? You don't, isn't it? Yeah. So similarly, if one were to develop dispassion and revulsion towards samsara, then it means that you truly see the faults and danger of samsara. So then it's no longer whether you are allowed to or whether you can. You are glad to be free of that kind of enjoyment. Because even the enjoyment itself of the leisure activities, you see the faults and danger. Yeah, but don't try to imagine, okay? Yeah, don't try to imagine how it will be like, because to imagine how it will be like without having dispassion and revulsion would be like asking a small kid to imagine not being able to enjoy like playing with handphone, for example. Yeah, they will not see it as anything good. You understand? Singpei, any thoughts on that?
Yeah, thank you, Shifu, for answering it. So I'm just maybe not. I don't know what do I flip it the other way around? Meaning, so in order for us to develop that, so should we then not do or don't do so much of things that we enjoy. Like, do we not participate in leisure activities, knowing that doing all these things, they may then make us more clinging towards the samsaric world. So in order to develop and cultivate, then do we then should not or not participate so much in things that we enjoy?
Well, so then so there's the path, and then there's the fruit, right? There's the things that we should be doing, and then there's the result. Dispassion and revulsion is the result. Yeah. The practice itself does involve distancing ourselves. Yeah. But before we do that, we need to ask ourselves whether we are interested in the outcome. Yeah. So we have retreats. Yeah. We have retreats. We have 8 precepts. So once a day, you live like an enlightened one. You try. I go for test drive. Yeah. I call this test driving. Test driving the enlightened life. You're not enlightened yet, but you try to live your life like an enlightened one. You abstain from killing, stealing, sexual activity, lying, alcohol. You abstain from taking meals after at the improper time. You abstain from adornments, entertainments. You abstain from luxurious and high beds and seats. Yeah. So, but not everybody is interested in that. Yeah, because they are more interested in the entertainment and all those things, yeah, or worldly activities. So then how? Buddhism is very free. Buddhism is a very free religion, as in freedom of choice. Yeah. So the Buddha merely tells us, do this, you get this. Do that, you get that. Abstain from this, you are free of this. Abstain from that, you are free from that. The Buddha just tells us this. Yeah. So for some people who are not ready for the supramundane path, that means for enlightenment, then the Buddha teach them how to live a righteous life, free from harming others. The Buddha teach them how to accumulate merits by practicing charity, by practicing dana, by accumulating merit in this way. Further, by practicing the precepts, yeah, assuring themselves that in this life they live in peace and harmony with others, and assuring them of a safe rebirth in future. Then further, if they are so attuned, then the Buddha teach them how to quieten their mind, to develop concentration, so they can enjoy even more supreme bliss in the future life, yeah, in the form or formless world. Usually talking about the form world. And by then, some of them may be suitable, yeah, and ready. Then the Buddha teach them how to be completely free of all kinds of tribulations of their mind, agitation of their mind. So should a person then avoid those activities? That's like asking a person, should you be a vegetarian? Yeah. I usually don't ask people to be a vegetarian. I ask them to develop compassion. But I also tell them, first you must avoid, whether you want to be compassionate or not, or rather whether you want to be a vegetarian or not, you should avoid eating live food. Yeah, food that means animals that were alive. Then because you choose to eat them, then they die. You should avoid that first and foremost. Whether you want to be vegetarian or not, you should do that. It means you should avoid eating food that comes from direct killing. Yeah. Why is it that, Shifu, why is it that you yourself, you are vegetarian, but you don't tell people to be vegetarian? Why I'm a monk. I don't tell people to become a monk. That is you have to choose yourself. Yeah. I cannot just say, let's say, Choi Kwan, why don't you be a nun? What are you waiting for? Cannot. Yeah. I cannot say, Long John, why don't you become a nun? I cannot just say that. Yeah, because everybody is at different stages. Yeah. But of course, we will give teachings that points in that direction, and then leave it to people to make that choice. Yeah. So I also don't tell people, why don't you be a vegetarian? Yeah, because vegetarian is a practice that you have to want to do it. Similarly, even for 5 precepts, yeah, I don't tell people you must take 5 precepts. But if you say that you are Buddhist, then I'll say, if you're Buddhist, then why don't you take 5 precepts? If you never even take refuge, then I won't even ask you to take 5 precepts, because you never declare yourself to be a disciple of the Buddha. So depends on like what exactly are you ready for? So depending on individuals. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Danny has a question, but before that, I promise another student to answer her question. Alison and Everett is in Spain, so at this time is middle of the night. So that's why they don't join us on morning sit. If our timing is different, they will actually join. So she asked, good evening, Shifu. We had a talk with some friends on Sunday about the importance of cultivating wisdom and not only make merits. Analogy was used to compare cultivating wisdom as accumulating points. Is this analogy appropriate, or is there a better analogy? So for example, if we cultivate and finally accumulate 1000 points, critical mass, then we attain stream entry. Following this analogy, what if we do not attain stream entry in this life? Would our points of wisdom go to 0 or decrease when we are reborn, especially if we are reborn in the lower realms? And we have to kind of restart. Or does the points actually kind of maintain throughout different rebirths? Hope Sifu could shed some light on this during the morning sitting sharing. Yeah. So short answer, yes, it does accumulate from life to life. Yeah, just like our karma, until the potential ripen, it remains there. So when does it ripen? It ripens in your wise decision. Yeah. So, but when you have wise decision, whether you act on it, if you ignore it, then we wasted long. Yeah, you have the wise condition, yeah, wholesome condition to go and listen to Dhamma talk, to do morning sit. But then because of your present defilement, you act on it instead of acting on the opportunity, the wholesome conditions. So you wasted the wholesome condition. But instead, if you act upon it, yeah, then you build on it, develop it until such point when it reaches fruition, then you attain sotapanna. Yeah. Similarly for our negative karma, yeah, the harmful ones. Yeah. You plant seeds. As long as it has not happened, it's there. This is the Yogacara school described our mind as different parts. One part is the eighth consciousness called the storage consciousness, alaya consciousness. Yeah. In a way, Buddhist masters, we give it a new meaning, storage. Yeah. What is it storing? Storing our CPF, storing our bank account, storing our stocks and bonds. No, storing our karmic potential. including our wholesome cultivation, including our unwholesome, evil seeds. Yeah, so you will store that. So this is the only one that doesn't undergo inflation. Yeah, you will not lose value. Yeah, the only bank that doesn't collapse. Yeah, you go through life after life, it keep it for you. Yeah, and each time if you were to act in the same way, it nourish it. So you act unwholesomely, it nourish the unwholesome seeds. You act wholesomely, it nourish the wholesome seeds. And then when it ripen, then you get your results. Yeah. My teacher ever he ever commented when I was still newly ordained, just still a novice. Then I was serving as his attendant. So about 2 or 3 students during the 30 days retreat came to consult him, and then they asked him like somewhat a similar question. They asked when can they ordain or something like that. Yeah, how should they practice and then lead to ordination and so on and so forth. So my teacher said, let's say this life you do some practices. Yeah, you learn teachings, you attend retreats, you meditate, and then at the end of the life, you pass away and you get 60 points. So then they were thinking, I think they were quite happy with it. Like, not bad, at least got 60 points. Then the teacher say, then next life, again, you become a human being, let's say, and then you learn Dharma and you practice again. And again, you get 60 points. So in total, 120 points. So then at that point, then they realize, oh, it's not upon 100. Yeah, then the teacher say, then life after life, you practice and you accumulate points after life. And maybe one day you reach 1,000 points. Yeah. So this 1,000 points is the 出离心. Yeah. The dispassion, the renunciation towards samsara. Yeah. So when you reach that, he just pull a figurative number, yeah, or rather a pluck from the sky kind of number, arbitrary number. Yeah, 1,000 points. When you reach 1,000 points, your interest in the path is so strong, nobody can stop you. You die. He didn't say die. My teacher never say die. Teacher, you will want to ordain. Yeah. Because I think they asked like, when do we know we will ordain? And then at that point in time, they think about it. Then they turn around and look at me. Oh, so he has 1,000 points. Then my teacher turned around and looked at me. Then he's like, yeah. Then my teacher mentioned about how okay, but irrelevant to the question. This part is irrelevant to the question. Yeah. So yeah, so we can use this analogy to consider. But I suspect she may have more questions. Maybe her follow-up question would be, in that case, then isn't that permanent? Yeah, I thought no self. Yeah, then might let her ask. Okay, so Danny asked, "Hi, Shifu and everyone. Just to share, during a meditation class, Venerable Sik Guang Sheng shared that he once advised a lay follower who can meditate deeply not to meditate too deeply. He said that one may feel torn or split. Hui Hui says, Shifu, how can regular practitioners discern how often we should go for longer retreats versus brief daily mindfulness through work and interactions with others? In a way, these questions are all linked. So Danny just share what Venerable Guang Shen shared. So Am I supposed to comment?
Good morning, Sifu and everyone. This is just a sharing because I attend his meditation classes at Kwang San, and then he shares a lot with us. And this one sharing is one that really stuck in my head.
Oh,
yeah.
Not to meditate too deeply.
Yeah, I think
you feel torn or split. Let's take Venerable Guangshen out of the statement. Yeah, because he's not here to explain himself also. I always do that, okay? Yeah, because even for Dalai Lama, for other venerables, because they are not here to explain their stand, so we take the person out of the picture. So what I can say is, ask yourself, for any venerable to say that, think about it. Venerables, would you feel that venerables meditate more deeply or less deeply than lay people? Should be more, yeah. So if venerables meditate more deeply, then why don't they encourage people to meditate more deeply? Of course, they want to encourage people to meditate more deeply, right? That's why they conduct a class, right? No class versus having classes is more deeply, right? So why is there such a statement? Yeah. So first thing is that I like to think that all venerables would want to encourage people to practice more, to meditate more deeply. Yeah. But in some cases, maybe individuals are seen to be stuck in the whether to do this or to do that. Yeah. Then maybe out of compassion, some venerables may suggest to say, anyway, you are not ready. So you try so hard, but then in a way, we some people may think, hey, how come this venerable don't encourage me to practice more deeply? But maybe it's to use reverse psychology, yeah. Tell don't meditate more deeply, otherwise you're torn. So it's actually to point out where you are stuck. Yeah, you are stuck at being torn. That's why you cannot progress. So until you resolve this internal conflict, until you do that, you cannot progress. If you can do that, then you will be able to progress. And if you resolve that, then you should meditate deeply. This is how I interpret it. But if you all want to know more, you can go and ask Venerable Guangshen, okay? But this is how I interpret it. Because he himself, he spent in his earlier days, he went to Korea. I think he also went Thailand. Yeah, he's very into meditation actually. Yeah, but interesting is that he don't like force people to go and and in a way I start to appreciate why he does that, because cultivation cannot be forced. Yeah, we can force you. We say compulsory, but then people may ask, so what's the minimum? So if we set a minimum, then they just do the minimum, then it defeats the purpose also. Kind of defeats the purpose also. So Hui Hui asked, so when to go for longer retreats and versus brief daily mindfulness? How to listen? Yeah, how to listen. First thing is, of course, again, I would also encourage people to, I actually encourage both. For me, I encourage you to both go for longer retreats and at the same time, practice mindfulness on a daily basis. Yeah. Matter of fact, in the Buddha's time, I don't recall seeing anywhere where they isolate themselves in long-term retreats. In the Buddha's time, this is not a common thing. Yeah, the Buddha did go into deep meditation, but not for a long period, not for a long period. In fact, the Buddha did highlight to the monks, that they should not live in isolation. They should not live in isolation. I'm highlighting this because tendency is that nowadays when we go for retreats, it tend to be quite isolated from others. And the nature of retreats for lay people versus how it was done in the Buddha's time is a bit different also for monastics. Because monastics, we're just in the Buddha's time for monastics is just practicing every single day. I mean, likewise for monastics now. So in that sense, if you're practicing every day, then you are in a constant retreat. Then there's no need for a longer retreat. So when we say longer retreat, it tends to be because for lay people, you have a sort of a dichotomy between your spiritual life and your lay life, where lay life is just la 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 la, and then you come to temple, you go for classes, then it's a very specific, oh, I'm practicing. For a start, I think this cannot be helped. So most people have to choose. They live their normal lay life, so-called normal lay life, and then they go for an abnormal retreat. If you say that lay life is normal, then retreat is abnormal. And in a way, it is, right? Normal people don't spend so many hours doing sitting. So they can say it's abnormal. But over time, you may come to a point where you feel like, hey, you need to do more. But even before that happens, I strongly encourage people to do daily practices like what we are doing. And even on top of that, after sitting, try to maintain awareness. Just maintain awareness for a start. Be aware of yourself. I like what someone shared with me. A Rinpoche said, when you're angry, be angry mindfully. Then the student was like, hey, how can that doesn't make sense? So asked me. So I said, yeah, this is actually a very good advice. Because the truth is, if you are mindful while angry, your anger cannot last. And even more importantly, then you get to know the real face of anger. Usually when we are angry, we don't see the anger. We only see the object of our anger, and we are just having so much stories about the person, the situation that we are angry with. We don't see what anger is. And after that, after we are not angry, oh, we don't want to look at anger also because we feel so ashamed of ourselves, we are upset. Either that, or we continue with the moment we think about the person who make us upset, we again get angry. So in the end, we never know what is anger. We can have some memory of it, but we don't see it happening. So even when we get angry, we should practice mindfulness and look at anger. Then before anger arises, we can catch it. Then we can truly have dispassion and revulsion towards anger. Then we will have renunciation towards anger, and we can truly work on being free of anger. Xiaofang asks, since our existence is the continual arising and ceasing of consciousness, where are our karma, our wholesome and unwholesome seeds, the memory of the past stored? Well, the way Yogacara school sort of define it, I say define it because they use the word unli. Unli. So the way it's defined is that the past seeds conditions the new seeds. And as long as it's not ripened, you will further condition a rising of new seeds again. So even the seeds even the alaya consciousness is not a permanent entity. Yeah, it's arising, ceasing, arising, ceasing. Oh, that's how it is. In the Buddha's time, the Buddha, somehow nobody asked the Buddha, where is the karma stopped? Yeah, somehow. I wish the Buddha, somebody asked the Buddha. Yeah, then at least we have a clear answer. Yeah. But in the Yogacara school, it says that this is actually declared by the Buddha also. Yeah, but not so obviously declared. Yeah, and why? Because for most people, it's too refined, too subtle for us to be able to go and detect or to be aware of it. Yeah. So as a result, the Buddha teach us how to, in a way, manipulate the karma without telling us how the underlying mechanism works. Yeah, in the classical teaching, doesn't talk about the actual mechanism. So that's like a driving instructor teaching you how to drive a car without teaching you how the car works. You want to go from point A to point B, right? So the driving instructor teach you how to drive. Maybe if you go for a driving class, you try asking the driving instructor, hey, how does the car work? Of course, that's where the analogy kind of break. Because some driving instructor really don't know how the car works. But the Buddha is a driving instructor who also know how the car works. But maybe I suspect, maybe the Buddha will tell you, why you bother how the car works? All you want to do is drive to a safe place, right? That's more important, right? When you reach a safe place, you can spend your time, tear apart the car, go and find out how the car works. Then, no, do all you want. But at this point in time, how the car works is not so important. How you make sure you don't crash your car, that's the important thing. How you make sure you don't stall your car and then your car gets stuck, that's more important. Yeah. Yes, Xiaofang have another question.
Shifu, just to clarify if I understand correctly, you mentioned that the Yogacara so-called define it as like if you have the tendency, you continue to build on the kind of habits. So it's like a cycle, like a feedback loop where if you don't get out, you just continue to have a positive feedback loop.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. And that's why we try to plant new seeds, to plant the wholesome seeds, to plant the purified seeds. And then when you reach a critical mass, loosely speaking, when you reach a critical mass, then we can say you attain Sotapanna. Because once you reach a critical mass, you have reached a certain excitation level and you are going out of orbit. Yeah. Currently, we are not just in orbit, we are falling straight into the planet. Boom, 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 bounce around, bounce here, bounce there. Yeah. Oh. Okay, can. 愿消三障诸烦恼，
愿消三障诸烦恼，
愿得智慧真明了，
愿得智慧真明了，
不愿罪障悉消除，
不愿罪障悉消除，
世世常行菩萨道。
世世常行菩萨道。
阿弥陀佛。Have a dispassionate day ahead.
Thank you, 师父。
Thank you, Sir.
Thank you, Shifu.
Take care. Stay safe. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Thank you, Shifu.